much. You know, we don't have to.
My ears. Yeah.
Well, Rod is sick today, so.
Oh, he usually does that.
The other
Yeah, Gary's tied. On 4 days last week. We sent him today, and then I just got a call from the nurse's office. He's there with the 110. So we're taking him to the doctor today. I'm like, been out for this will be the 5th day he's missed.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's okay. Yeah, no, that's okay.
We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
While we're standing, Paul, can you do an invocation, please?
Oh, Paul's doing it. That's so weird. So strange.
He's here.
I know.
The ones you're up.
I can do it while we're standing or while we're sitting,
We're all standing now.
but please remain standing. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we thank you for the blessings of this day. We rejoice in the fine weather and the sunshine, but are reminded that other people suffer from storm and flood. We thank you for this food and the way it enriches our bodies, but we remember people who do not have anything to eat. We thank you for the blessings of our community and remember people who live in strife. Make us instruments for good in this world, putting service above self. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Okay, before you sit down, as we're standing, let's do the Rotary 4-way test. But I have to share that we were doing it wrong because we were saying first, second, third, fourth. We don't need to say that part, right, Andy Green?
Right.
Okay, so Rotary 4-way test. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be precious? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. You can be seated. There's a song for that, so maybe sometime we'll sing the song. All right, welcome everybody. It's great to see some student guests here today, and everyone, thanks for being here for our meeting and our program. I know there are a few announcements. I don't know if there are any Boo Bash announcements today, but sorry, Paul, you just sat down. Come on back up. I do know the committee is now meeting weekly, so we'll have Paul come back up with a Boo Bash announcement.
There once was a new pastor who came to the congregation and gave a sermon on his first Sunday, and people thought it was pretty good. And then they came back the next Sunday and he gave the same sermon. I thought, well, maybe he's been really busy trying to move in, so it was all right. Came back third Sunday and he gave the same sermon, and they started getting a little upset. And came the fourth Sunday and he gave the same sermon, and they talked to him and said, Pastor, we've been here 4 Sundays in a row and you've given us the same single sermon every Sunday. He says, well, when you do what I tell you, I'll give you something different.
So, money. You want some money.
So here I am with the same pitch. Uh, Please notice the sheet on the table. We need you to sign up for your tickets. Thank you to those who have signed up to be sponsors, but you have tickets coming and you need to sign up on the website. All the details are there. At this point, it's looking like a nice private party of my wife and a few friends. So let's make it more than that. Hopefully that's all clear. If you are already a sponsor, be sure you check that you are paying by check and then you will not be billed. But I encourage you, if you're not a sponsor yet, to still sign up. You can do that right on the website and either say you're paying by check or put in your credit card for doing that. Secondly, items are coming in somewhat slowly and we would really appreciate your help with that. I really hope that every Rotarian in this club is either a sponsor or donates an item for the auction or does both. So take a form along, think about what you can do to offer in the auction. Fill out the form and get it back to me, please. Don't say, well, we're gonna do this. I need some details. I don't wanna make them up for you. So those sheets are on your table. Sign up for sponsorships and tickets, and please think about what you can do to offer an item. We need some big live auction items too. Offer an item in the auction. Thank you.
Thank you. Gary, Francis, are we making an announcement? Thank you.
Real quick, you already sent her out.
This Sunday, we are going to have the 4th annual Hometown Pride Walk of Fame induction. We have 7 members this year. I'm not going to go through all 7 of them, but one of them is a member of this group, which is Dave Severite. I don't think he's here today, but I would encourage you. You can go online. Francis, what's the?
It's a long.
It's weekly. Well, we can send it out to everybody.
Yeah, the newsletter.
We'll get you the information to send out if you'd like to have tickets. It runs from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock this upcoming Sunday at Eagle Point Lodge. And Dave will be inducted along with 6 others. So just wanted to throw that out. Francis? Tickets are $30 each.
And also Sean Green.
Well, then we're gonna start going through the whole. Shauna Green, one of my former students, is also getting inducted. She is the head women's basketball coach at Illinois.
Oh, well, I'm actually, I have to go through Chris. It's twisted. It's Louise Laurent, is also, he's one of the inductees.
Yeah.
Might get
Come
up.
up here, Francis.
Oh.
Pop it off and give us.
Come on. Or yeah, you wanna just.
So it's easier.
There you go. Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2. Louise Laurent is one of the inductees. Katie Clay, University of Iowa All-American Canadian football star, Dave Severite.
Dave's a Canadian football star.
No, Katie Canadian. And Katie's from Lost Nation originally. And actually, his wife will be, his widow will be actually coming down to accept his award. She's coming all the way from Manitoba, Winnipeg, Manitoba. And then Glenn Brown, a teacher over at Calamus and Wheatland School, Shauna Green, Vince Jenner, and Alan Paulson, who owned Del Mar Racetrack and Country Club and Gulfstream Air Jets. He manufactured that. He was a Clinton resident and dropped out of school at age 13 and went on to become a multi-millionaire out in California.
Close your ears.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, get with Gary or Francis for more information on the Walk of Fame. Ray, would you like to come up to make your announcement?
Yeah,
Well, let's do it up here because we have people on Zoom, so I just like them to be able to hear you and see you also.
Thank you.
Okay, hey, for all Rotarians, this is a way and a season that we can get back. It may be a little too early, but the Great Thanksgiving Banquet at the Victory Center, our 36th time that we're gonna do this. It's gonna be at the, York Gym. I got the flyer already ready to go, so if you want a flyer, I haven't put it on the tables yet. I would love to do something that we've never done before. Last year, we served over 700 meals, and 100% of the people that came were all people that are really struggling with meals and really in poverty. But we had 177 servers. I would like to have at least 30 to 40 Rotarians be servers this year with the flag and something like this. And I would love to have somebody that will volunteer to make some opening remarks and also maybe have the invocation for the meal, just to put the Rotary Club on the map as far as this meal, because it's becoming the most wonderful event for the community to come together, poor people, men, women, and children in crisis. So I would love, if you want to sign up to be a server, I have a server slate right here, and I have the flyer that you can have pertaining to the event. It's always on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and we start at 6:30 p.m. By 8 o'clock, you're going home. So by 8 o'clock, so it's an hour and a half of giving back to the community and letting them know that you're here. I would love for people to know that this is your baby, you know, take ownership of this. I would love that. And so if you want to sign up to be a volunteer, and how many people you may bring, you may want to bring your family, your children, or somebody. That would be great. That would be great. We had 177 volunteers, and we needed every single one of them. So if you want to volunteer, I will want to give priority to the Rotary. So, thank you very much. And I'll put some of these in your table. If you want one, I'll give you one. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I know it's a pain to come up to the podium, but then everyone on Zoom can see you. Andy Green has fellowship today. Please hold your applause.
Expect a lot of it.
Thank you. Go ahead. Guest today, Shannon, you want to introduce Sister Kathy?
So Sister Kathy Holland is my guest. She is the YWCA board president. Please welcome Sister Kathy.
Heather, we have a corporate membership.
This is Kelly. Kelly is one of our commercial ag vendors here joining us today.
Hi, Kelly.
And then Gary, do you want to introduce our student guests?
Yeah, and I think they need to speak because they told me they're ready, first of all, and second of all, they're not probably back. They have different people every week.
Oh.
So we got Haley House, Addison Lorenzen. So would have been a little bit, 3 months ago, I would have been a little bit nervous for both daughters of school board. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Addison Lorenzen. I'm a junior this year at Clinton High School, and we are members from the Synergy program at the high school. It's yourself.
My name is Haley House. I'm a junior and I'm very involved at CHS. I do lots of sports. I play volleyball, track, and soccer, and I'm also a part of the drama theater speech program, and I'm the vice president of our troupe there.
So just a little rundown of what Synergy does. We are a work-based and project-based learning group. We do different projects throughout the community, and we like to help kind of get people involved in the community. So we have different partnerships with businesses and people in our school community, and just getting people to learn in just a different type of way.
So project-based learning primarily focuses on internal and external. So an internal project-based learning would be anything in the school. So one of our members, her name is Olivia, she's doing a lip dub type video that's going to be a district-wide thing. And then an external project would be something like we're in the midst of throwing a pickleball tournament right now, which is going to be downtown somewhere, and we're very excited about that.
I don't want to bore you guys too much, but work-based learning would be, for example, I want to be a flight attendant when I grow up, so I'm looking into doing a job shadow, hopefully at the airport. Don't know if that's going to happen, but I really want it to. And then internships and job shadows are just a big thing for people who are trying to get our name out and into the community and know that we want to help businesses or help see what we want to do after high school.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Karen Vickers, your birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday.
Birthday.
This week, coming up, we have Cheryl Fry,
Happy birthday.
Julie Dunn, Friday. And then on Saturday, both Brig Tubbs and Andy Ferguson have birthdays. So this is a great week for Rotary birthdays. Anniversaries. Doug Bertrand has his anniversary this week, 28 years as a Rotarian. Okay, so I'm filling in for Andy Ferguson, and he gave me these questions. These questions are about football, and I don't know much about football. So we're going to see how this goes. Andy,
Yeah. What do you got?
for your table, how many football teams play home games in the state of New York?
How many football?
This is NFL.
NFL.
Yeah.
3.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, New York Jets, New York Giants.
So the answer is 1. It is the Buffalo Bills. The Giants and the Jets play in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Jersey gets me every time.
Yeah. All right,
On the one bomb chart.
Brandon and Graham, your table. Which NFL team logo is a picture of the helmet?
Oh,
Cleveland Browns. Yeah, good job. Oh, I guess I didn't. If give what you can. Sorry about that. We need scholarship money. Okay, this table up here. Which NFL team is not named after a person or an animal?
oh, that's.
I don't think this is accurate.
Yes. What's the answer?
The Yankees. That's a baseball team. I'm just kidding. I was checking you to see if you knew you. Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
The Jets.
This is a whole choice.
So I'm thinking the Chargers, right? Would the Chargers be a? So that's Andy Ferguson. He owes us money. Oh, hey, Joe Brown's table. How many NFL teams are based in California? There are 3. The Rams, the 49ers, and the Chargers. The Raiders recently moved to Las Vegas. All right, guys. This one's up my alley. Which NFL team is technically a publicly traded nonprofit? Technically, the whole NFL is a nonprofit. But what? The Green Bay Packers. Oh, hey, guys, for our guys up here. Name, this is a lot. Name the 5 teams that have a bird in their logo.
Eagles, Falcons, Ravens, Cardinals. Oh, NFL. Oh, the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. Seahawks. Oh, yeah, you got them. Oh, hey, we'll rock and roll. Well, I hope everybody learned something new today. Here you go. I'm a Colts fan. I love the Colts.
For our guests who may not know, the money we raise during fellowship supports our scholarship fund. So give generously and thanks for participating. All right, if there are no other further announcements, we will move on to program. Jennifer Graham.
Well, hello, we're going to have a great speaker today. For your new members, you may not realize, short item, no. I forget. You may not realize that Shannon Sander-Welzien, our speaker, was our former president of Rotary, and her tenure was during COVID. So that attests to her leadership skills that she even kept our club together. And then now she's got another project on hand. So without further ado, Shannon Sander-Welzien.
Shannon Sander-Welzien.
Great. So thank you so much for having us back here today. We were here a few months ago telling you generally about what the YWCA Empowerment Center does. And today we're specifically here to talk about the supportive housing project. And so to help kind of keep you guys awake while we're talking, we're going to split things up between me and Michelle. Please welcome Michelle Plashart. She is our YWCA Empowerment Center Director. She's been with the YWCA for a year and a half now, but she has over 11 years of homelessness experience that she's bringing to our community. And she's going to start the program, and then we're going to kind of flip-flop back and forth. And please feel free to ask questions as we go, because we're going to cover a lot of material in this short amount of time. Carrie assured me she'll give us the 5 more minutes when we have it. So, but we do want to leave some time for questions because we know you probably have a lot of them. So please welcome Michelle. Yep. Sorry about that.
We have to share it from.
Oh, but can I start? Oh, I gotta do that first.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I move just to be, because I cannot see because I'm old. I'm having flashbacks, people. There we go. We had to figure this technology out in my year, and so I'm definitely having some flashbacks. Let's see here. Slideshow. And from the beginning. There you go. Yay! What's that? Yes, just hit the, yeah.
Hello, thank you for having us today. Our Empowerment Center is a small and mighty team made up of myself and 4 caseworkers. We work hard to serve our community by providing housing support, financial assistance,
Maybe not.
and case management services to people experiencing homelessness and at risk of homelessness.
Oh, so not letting you go back now. How do I go back? The arrows. There we go. Okay, sorry about that.
So these are the services and the programs that we have at the Empowerment Center. We have coordinated entry, which allows agencies to quickly identify and assess, refer, and connect people to housing and community assistance based on their strengths and needs. So this is a requirement by HUD for any homeless service provider that receives HUD funding. It basically allows for an even playing field and a one-stop shop for folks that are looking for services. They're not having to call a bunch of different places. They're routed to the coordinated entry person for our region. And then they do an assessment. It's a needs-based assessment, so it's kind of measuring what barriers they have to housing. Based on those barriers, that will determine where they fall on the list for the coordinated entry list for housing. So folks that have the most barriers typically will be at the top of the list. And then when agencies have openings in their housing programs, we have pull meetings every week. We pull from the top of the list down for those openings. We also do a lot of diversion when folks call our hotline. A lot of times folks just need help problem solving. We try to do what we can to keep folks out of the homeless services arena if we can, by diverting them, getting creative. Do you have a friend or a relative that you could stay with? Is there somewhere else that you could stay that we could help maybe get a bus ticket or just things like that to help them figure out solutions. We also have homelessness prevention for those at risk of losing their home. This is really important for folks that are facing eviction or maybe are about to get an eviction notice. They can call our hotline and get on the coordinated entry list for that. We're really trying to help folks stay out of the cycle of homelessness by stopping it before it starts. So we can help pay arrears and then pay forward up to 6 months for that program. We have rapid rehousing as well. That's another program for folks experiencing homelessness who are literally homeless. It's designed for folks that just need a little bit of assistance getting back on their feet. Maybe they lost a job and need to get back into the employment scene, or something came up and they became homeless. It could be any number of things, but that's meant to be a shorter term program. It's up to 12 months that we can assist with rental assistance and case management. We have permanent supportive housing. This is a longer term program for folks that are experiencing chronic homelessness. So they've been homeless for an ongoing for a year, or for 3 episodes or 4 episodes within the last 3 years is HUD's definition for that. So this is a longer based program. It has intense case management. The average, I think, stay in this program is 3 years, I think, maybe 3 to 7 years.
3 years.
Yeah, I've heard different things. It just depends on the person and what barriers they're facing. We have case management, like I said, with all of our programs. We have a street outreach program, and that's really making connections with folks that are living in places not meant for human habitation. People are living on the streets or abandoned buildings. We really try to get out there and form those relationships with them. Many of them, don't trust the system, have just, don't want to seek shelter. So a lot of that is just building those relationships, getting them to connected with coordinated entry so that they can get on the list, and hopefully eventually getting them into shelter and then into housing. For emergency shelter, we do have limited funds for that. We help folks by giving motel vouchers, typically in the colder months, and also kind of as needed through the summer for folks that are vulnerable. We utilize the Housing First model. This serves as a platform from which clients can pursue personal goals and improve their quality of life. This approach is guided by the belief that people need necessities like food and a place to live before attending to their barriers to housing, which may be getting a job, budgeting properly, or attending to substance use issues. Additionally, Housing First is based on the theory that client choice is valuable in housing selection and supportive service participation. So all of our programs are, they're client choice. We believe that clients are the experts of their own lives. So we do a lot of goal setting with them as case managers, do a lot of goal setting with things that they want to work on. As everyone knows, or maybe some people don't know, it's really hard to wrap your mind around anything when you're experiencing homelessness and don't know where your next meal is going to come from, don't know where you're going to stay tonight, don't feel safe. So it's hard to even, think about, finding a job, and a lot of times they don't have an ID, they don't have, a cell phone, they don't have access to the internet, like all the things that we really need for those types of things. So the only known solution to homelessness is housing. So housing folks first, and then working on all those things is definitely the way to go. Causes for homelessness. We have a huge lack of affordable housing here and across the nation right now. Domestic violence is a factor, unemployment and underemployment. Post-traumatic stress. A lot of our folks that we serve have, suffered severe trauma in their lives. And if they haven't before, certainly the experience of being homelessness itself can be traumatizing. Poverty, mental illness, low wages, and addiction. So those are kind of the main ones that we see. Local needs. So 1 in every 3 Clinton County residents are at or below near poverty level. There's ALICE, which stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. These are households that earn above the federal poverty level, but cannot afford the basic cost of living in their country or in their county. Despite struggling to make ends meet, ALICE households often do not qualify for public assistance, and that's 38%, 13% of those in poverty. So many folks are one crisis away from becoming homeless, whether that's losing a job, having a major health concern, needing a repair to a vehicle, all those kinds of things can quickly spiral somebody into needing housing. So we have a intake hotline, which is also called our coordinated entry line. This is where folks are referred to for getting on coordinated entry and learning more about our programs. We answer over 4,000 calls a year, averaging 100 to 200 applications on our intake list. In Clinton County, homelessness is the #4 top health need, and this was in the Clinton County Health Needs Assessment, I think last year. At Clinton Community Schools, 98 students are currently experiencing homelessness. This is a number from this year, 105 at the end of last school year. This is the Clinton County dashboard, which just goes over Iowa's housing and community dashboard, things that we're seeing all over the state right now. This is a good, the website's on the bottom here, but this is a good website to go to just to explore, what the housing needs forecasts are in our community, housing, economics, demographics, and quality of life. The need for affordable housing. So this is 2030 projected rental home supply by AMI. You can see Clinton County down here at the bottom, 0 to 30%, and then going up 31 to 50%, 51 to 80, and then back down 115 AMI. 0 to 30% AMI greatest need. So that's what we're showing right now, 0 to 30% till 2030 with a negative 1,542. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
Sorry. You can switch it right.
Yeah. So basically, because of the supportive housing initiative, we did create a page on our website. So if you go to ywclinton.org, we actually have the Empowerment Center, and in the drop down, there's information regarding the supporting housing initiative. And one of the things that is on that page, and just a recap of what Michelle just presented, basically, Iowa Finance Authority has put together that dashboard. You can go and get economic information. You can get quality of life, poverty rates, housing needs. So if any of you are writing grants for your different organizations, you can go to that Iowa Finance website and really download materials specific to Clinton County. And so one of the things that we are highlighting is that the greatest housing needs, we have a major housing needs in Iowa, and the greatest deal of housing that we need is 0 to 30% AMI. We need 1,600 spots by 2030. We also need very higher income homes. We have a lot in the middle, so we don't have a lot. The greatest need is for those 0 to 30% AMI, and just show. So in Clinton, that means a person, one person household is making $18,000 or less, and an 8-person household is making $34,000. And we are going to have a shortage of 1,600 plus spots projected for 2030. So that is a major problem for our community that we need to really address together. We also need the higher income housing too, as you can see here, but so 115% average median income. We need some houses for those folks as well. So like I said, this website's really cool. If you're writing grants, go to this website. You can pull different demographic information and use it in your grant writing or, support for presentations and that kind of thing. So also on our website is the City of Clinton Housing Needs Report. This is a report that the City of Clinton paid University of Iowa to put together. It has 166 pages of lovely reading that I encourage everyone to get online and look at that. But really assess the housing needs in our community. And it is also on our website. I kind of have an icon down there about what it looks like in the different programs there. Page, I don't know what, of the Clinton, City of Clinton housing needs says number 10 is homelessness support. We need to implement a rapid rehousing program, which we have. We need to have homeless prevention programs. We need to collaborate with local non-for-profits, establish a homeless service center. We need to offer more permanent supportive housing. We need to encourage affordable housing development, and we need to prioritize the housing first model. And they list a long list of case studies there at the bottom, but I had to cut it off on the slide, that they're pulling from and making these recommendations for the city of Clinton. And these are all things the YWCA is doing, and so that is why this project, in addition to everything we do, is so important. It is definitely on the list of recommendations, and we're trying to fill some of those recommendations. We have these reports done, and we need to actually take them and take action on the things, and that, you know, that's what we're attempting to do. Also, the housing, State of Iowa Housing Needs Report is on our website, and I just wanted to quickly summarize some of that as well from a different source about the needs that we're seeing. So this slide talks about NIMBYism, and I'm sure if any of you ever read the headlines, we ran into that with this project and this for this project. So not in my backyard. People agree we need affordable housing, but they don't really want it next door to them, and you can't really blame them. But we need to address those fears and not criminalize homelessness or criminalize affordable housing, because we really need it for our community to thrive. It's part of, in that Alice families, your waitress, maybe even your teacher, your person working at the big box store. Those folks are struggling to pay for their housing. You should only be paying 30% of your income towards your housing, and a lot of people are not in that range. So this kind of shows the bars show that the green is people support affordable housing, but then the gray is I support it in my zip code. So it goes down when it's in your zip code. So I think everybody knows a need. They just kind of, when it gets close to them, they might have some fears. This also says in the state of Iowa that opposition to affordable housing projects has stopped nearly 1 in 3 projects. So we're not alone in that in regard. So, but what we know is that real people are hurt by the shortage of housing, and fixing this benefits everyone. Everyone of all incomes benefits when people have access to housing. So this just says, you know, Iowa grows when we embrace economic diversity of housing. We need housing of all income levels. And this is just, again, from the state of Iowa report showing the 0 to 35 average income are, you know, at risk of homeless, and then the affordable rental, and where we need on the different spectrums of home ownership. So one of the things in this presentation, which is also 60-some pages and available on our website, is that you can apply to the National Housing Trust Fund to do some projects. And this is exactly what we did. And we were awarded a historic $4.4 million National Housing Trust Fund award to be able to do this project. And their example here is a Dubuque project that they cited. And maybe in future years we'll be on here. So just to show success of programs, so this is Shelter House in Iowa City. They actually have 2 supportive housing developments. And so they were one of the state of Iowa's program success stories. And we'll have a little bit more about them a little later. Because they are actually, it has been so successful that they are now going after their 3rd pot of money, I guess, for a 3rd project. So permanent supportive housing, like Michelle had mentioned, is for people experiencing chronically homeless. They've experienced homeless for at least a year or repeatedly while struggling with a disabling condition, which may be serious mental illness, substance use disorder, or physical disability. So this project is for chronically homeless. But the thing to keep in mind is that what is happening when Michelle explained about the intake list and the fact that the state, the way that we do things, we pull from the top. We pull people that have the most barriers because the state knows that's how the best use of taxpayer funding is, to be able to pull from the top and make sure that we're addressing the biggest needs versus the easier needs. They want us tackling the most difficult needs. But what's happening in our community is, because we only have so many spots for permanent supportive housing, we're actually placing people in rapid rehousing in a shorter term program that qualify for permanent supportive housing, which is in effect that, you know, kind of setting them up not for success because they qualify for supportive housing. We just don't have more spots. So Michelle's going to talk to you about We just did, actually Iowa Finance Authority in August, so it was just last month, that they funded a gaps needs analysis across the state of Iowa regarding homeless services, which Michelle's going to give you the update on, because she participated in the needs analysis.
So currently in our region, there are 37 singles in permanent supportive housing. There are 214 that are assessed that need PSH, which leaves a deficit of 177 folks that are currently need PSH and are not being served by it. In addition to that, also 7 families were identified in permanent supportive housing currently. 59 on the list assessed need and leaving a deficit of negative 52. So this is just what we're seeing across the board in our region and several other regions in Iowa. There's just not enough permanent supportive housing, and like Shannon was saying, we're currently serving folks in programs that really aren't necessarily designed for them to be successful because there isn't enough. The cost of doing nothing. So Shelter House in Iowa City, that's the one that Shannon just mentioned. I have the 2 projects, and then I have a third one in the works. They were top 4 high utilizers alone, cost the city $2.1 million over 4 years. High utilizers cost the system approximately $140,000 per person per year. So high utilizers are those folks that are experiencing homelessness that kind of do that cycle of shelter, jail, detox, maybe emergency shelter again, emergency room, then to the psychiatric hospital, just kind of run this cycle and cost those systems a lot of money. Public safety resources, things like police time, de-escalating, moving, connecting with resources, all of those things. So this is a picture of our supportive housing initiative. It is for people experiencing chronic homelessness. So this is what our build will look like. We are serving folks who are chronically homeless and, like Shannon said, have experienced some sort of disability, whether that be substance use, mental health, physical disability, and that can be any person in the family that's experiencing that. Sure. So supportive housing outcomes for the shelter house in Iowa City. So we just talked about how they were before, and then this is after they've had their 2 supportive housing projects in the works, the direct public system savings. So emergency room visits declined in that area by 57%, rate of incarceration declined by 52%. And more than 83% of those folks that were housed in permanent supportive housing stayed housed for at least 1 year. So those are really big outcomes, and just further, tells the story that this program really works for people. A myth is homeless people, which we call them people experiencing homelessness because they are people first. There's a myth that they just need to get a job. The truth is a significant portion of people experiencing homelessness do have jobs. They just cannot afford to pay rent. We're seeing more and more of this. A myth, people who are homeless are violent, dangerous, and or lawbreakers. The truth is a person who is experiencing homelessness is less likely to perpetuate a violent crime than a housed person, and is in fact more likely to be the victim of a violent crime, especially if they are a homeless woman, teen, or child. Pros and cons. So currently $140,000 is the cost of high utilizers each year. 125 high utilizers have been identified in Clinton County. $17+ million every year in public services. Public service departments spend time on resources to deal with individuals and situations they have not been trained for, not necessarily their area of expertise. Community members stay stuck in the cycle of poverty and homelessness, and at-risk individuals not working because they don't have a home. A very basic need is not met. With supportive housing, reduction of public expense exceeding $100,000 per person each year. Public safety resources are not completely exhausted by homelessness issues. Individuals become in return to being productive, contributing members of society. Individuals remain housed and potentially employed, and $5+ million investment to provide more resources to our community. The end goal. So the end goal is to reduce the cost per individual to the city and county resources, graduate individuals out of the cycle of homelessness, moved into their own homes, or at the very least, break the cycle of repeated use of public resources, create a more efficient and accessible support network, but most importantly, improve the life of affected individuals and their families. This is just a link for our fall annual report from last year. If you'd like more information about what the Empowerment Center is doing and some of our other programs. And any questions?
35 years ago, Rockford, Illinois had a very well-deserved bad reputation for these issues, and that community has completely changed and has addressed a lot of these issues. And if you haven't done so already, I'd encourage you to look at some of the details of what they did beyond what was up on one slide there, and dig into some of those details and see what they've done over in Rockford to significantly and dramatically eliminate a lot of these same challenges they were having to a far greater degree than we are.
Okay, thank you. We'll definitely look into that, do some research. Any other questions?
I just wanted to know how much coordination can you do with the school district? I do know that they were able to review the McKinney-Vento grant. And then there was an extension grant where I believe now they buy a van to help transport kids to school. So I don't know, is there much coordination between what you're doing and the school district or not?
There is. I mean, we definitely work closely with them. You know, they identify, you know, students and families that are experiencing homelessness through the school district. We can make sure that they're getting on that coordinated entry list. And also the McKinney-Vento Act, if people don't know what that is, that's basically, you know, if kids are experiencing homelessness, they still have the right to go to the school of their choice. You know, that transportation can't be an issue. Basically, it protects these kids that are experiencing homelessness, make sure that they are staying in school and the situation that their family is in is not affecting their education. Any other questions?
I just have a comment. I'm on the, but I'm not here in Clinton, I'm on the Clinton city point. Perfect example, and a supportive housing project came on its own. Passed into, they got to city council because neighbors objected to it. That's her threshold. Super 6 or 7 city council. It's interesting that the location previously a residential facility, children 5 to 17 residents, accepted that for 20 years. When adults were transitional housing, staying up to 6 months, all the fair story. So I think education aspect of it, city council, that I think it their constituents folks reach them children and city housing. So
Definitely. Yep. Yeah, and we do a lot of education. We've been doing a lot of that over the course of the last several months, probably Shannon a lot more than I have, just kind of educating the public about homelessness in general, but also permanent supportive housing and how it works for folks in our community.
I just like to acknowledge Shannon's leadership on this. I know it has not been easy with pushback, but you're doing the right work, Shannon. Continue to fight for what's right.
Thank you. So I know Carrie's got to wrap things up. So if anybody has any questions, please hang tight and come up and check with us. We just want to make sure we're getting everybody out in time. But do take the sheets on your table. This one's about the who, what, when of the supportive housing. This one is talking points of all the questions that like we've come across about things that have come up during all of our meetings. But supportive housing actually improves health, reduces crime, increases employment, and it has, is it no effect on property values, John? And then the other sheet is just our general services. So again, the supportive housing is just another tool in our toolbox of services to help meet the needs that we are seeing in our community. So thank you for your time, and we'll turn. Oh, Jennifer has a comment.
I just want to mention something. Over 10 years ago, it's the same humanitarian efforts that made now supportive housing. Over 10 years ago, we received a $3 million grant from Senator Harkin to build a community health center. The identification of medical needs was very great in our community, and we had to do a similar path, had to walk same path to find a stick built, a place that built. And we got a lot of pushback from the community. They didn't want those people utilizing those services. Now today you see community health center next to Hy-Vee, and do you hear anything about it? No. So with the grace of the Sisters of St. Francis that helped to secure this option, I just want to remind you that for those people you know who are very upset about this or still don't believe in the concept, this too will pass. It will be better than having this project. Just want to mention.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just a couple things for me to wrap up our meeting. Thanks for staying a couple minutes. First of all, this is a reminder, but Rotary's international, worldwide international causes are promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, saving mothers and children, supporting education and literacy, growing local economies, and protecting the environment. So I think it's a very germane topic for our club. So thanks very much for being here. Our club donates a book every week to the children's department at the Clinton Public Library. But this month, our program chair, Jennifer, is making those donations, and she's selected some local authors to highlight. So this week's book is called Olivia's Question. It was written by a local woman, Lori Freudenberg. And so we'll have our speakers sign that book and donate it to the library. You can also purchase this book at Doodads, Renaissance, or Sasholi's in DeWitt. So I wanted to share that. And with that, just thanks to all of our guests for being here. Thanks, Paul, for invocation, and Andy Green for fellowship. That was a lot of fun. And Jennifer, thanks for our program. So with that, experience the magic of Rotary. So many things to say. Friday. I just don't know right now, so I just want to make sure. So if I tell you in the next week, I know that's me. Just sign up for
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do next week.